Alright, princess. I know I've been promising to do this for a really long time, so I'll finally take out the time of my day to teach you this. I've been meaning to teach you this for ages, so you can play with me. So, here. You have time? Great. Because I really wanted to teach you how to play Texas Hold'em, which is my favorite kind of poker. Here, give this a good shuffle for me. So Texas Hold'em as hard is essentially kind of like a matching game. The game is basically you building hands. And each round you are given a different hand to build. And there's betting relative to the hands that are being played. So I guess the best way I think to teach someone is to just play the game. But before I do that, let me teach you what to look for. So the most basic thing is high card technically, which is if let's say we have no pairs, no straights, no flush, no anything, and I have a 2-3 and you have a king 8, you'd win because you have the highest card. The king would be the high card, and that would mean that you'd win the pot or whatever we're betting on. After that would be a pair, which is 2 of a kind, so king, 8, something like that. And then after that is 3 of a kind, so 3 8s, 3 kings, 3 queens, something like that. And then it gets a little bit different, but it's not too hard to keep up with. You have straights, which is the next one up, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 would be a straight. So sequential numbers, they don't have to be the same suit or color, but it's any cards in sequence. So it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but as long as it's in sequence, it is a straight. And then you have flushes, which is 5 cards of the same suit. So let's say you had the 8 of clubs and 3 of clubs, and then on the table was the 10 jack and king of clubs. You'd have a flush because all the suits match up. And then there's a full house, which means that you have like 3 of a kind and a pair. So let's say you had a pocket, which means when we say pocket, it means it's sitting in your hand. So let's say you had a pocket 10, 9, and then on the board was 2 10s and a 9. You'd have a full house, which is very, very strong. And then, of course, after that, you have 4 of a kind, which means, let's say I add pocket jacks and 2 jacks come up on the board, or simply if I have 1 jack in my hand and 3 jacks come on the board, that's 4 of a kind, which is really pretty good. And then we have things like the straight flush, which is super rare, but very, very powerful, which is when you have not only a straight, meaning you have sequential cards, you have a flush, which means they're all the same suit. Now that is a very strong hand, and it's only beaten by the royal flush, which is a sequence of cards going ace, king, queen, jack, 10, all of the same suit. Getting a royal flush is very, very difficult. But when you get it, that is nigh unbeatable of a hand, so that's when you go big. So now that you have like an understanding of what you're looking for, let me just show you kind of how the game is played. So at the start of the game, you get 2 cards, right? And we'll turn them over just because I'm teaching you. So you got a 2 of spades and a 9 of hearts, and I got a 2 of diamonds and a 4 of diamonds. So right now already, we can tell that my hand is a bit stronger because I am already in a position to get a flush if on what is called the flop, which is the first 3 cards to be laid down, are diamonds. Also, statistically speaking, your chances of getting a pair have dropped dramatically, saying as we both are holding 2s. But you wouldn't know that in a normal game. I'm just trying to teach you some like game logic of it, though. So when you get these 2 cards initially, you have the first round of betting, and the first round of betting is usually goes around what we have the dealer, and there's big blind, little blind, but I'm not going to teach you any of that. Just for our purposes, it's kind of unnecessary. But just know that the initial round of betting kind of moves based on who's the dealer and whoever's the dealer is known as the button. And being on the button is a very powerful position when we play like competitive poker, but we're playing house poker, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So initially you'll have a first round of betting where you bet based on the cards that are in your hand. So in my position, I would probably bet. In your position, you probably wouldn't want to bet. So how does betting work? Well, whoever's in position, so let's say you start off the betting, right? When you start the betting, you have two moves. You can either bet, check, or fold. Well, that's technically three moves, but you don't want to fold unless you get pressured to fold. Folding on what we call air isn't necessarily the best. So to fold means you're sitting out of the round. You're turning in your cards and you are saying, I'm out, essentially. So with this hand, you probably want to check, which means you don't bet and the turn passes to me. And since you checked, I could then also check, which means there's no betting. I can conversely bet, which means that I can put stakes up. So let's say I bet 1 token. Then it would be up to you to match that bet or fold. At that point, you can no longer check. So you can only check if no one's bet. That's pretty much the rule. So assuming we both check, you check, I check. Here comes a flop. So you discard 1, 2, 3 cards, and then you put down 1, 2, 3 cards. So now the flop is out. You're again going to start the betting. You have no pair, and I have nothing either. Right now, I'm still on my way to getting a flush with my. Basically, so the flop is the king of spades, the jack of spades, and the ace of diamonds. So it's not a bad position to be in. And so let's assume we both check. Then the next card comes out. The turn, which is an ace. So now we have a ace pair on the board. Right now you're the leading player because you have high card in the 9. Assume we check. And then last but not least is the river, which is a 10 of spades. So if we both check through, you would win because you had high card 9, high card with a pair, and I would have a pair, but I don't have high card, so I lose. So that's kind of the most basic introduction to how the game works. Yeah, we can play another hand. Sure. All right, here. I won't look at your card this time, and I will start the betting. Okay, so. All right. What are we betting on? Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I guess like yeah, strip poker's a thing. So we would be betting articles of clothes. So each bet value would be would refer to a piece of clothing. I'm wearing 1, 2, 3 articles of clothes, and you are wearing. Baby, you can't count the socks individually. Okay, so 5 articles of clothes. All right, so yeah, you're more than welcome to bet. No, you check. Okay, so go check. So here comes the flop. So ace of diamonds, 10 of clubs, and 2 of diamonds. I check. Okay, you bet 1. All right, I call. And a call is when you basically match the bet. And if someone calls after you bet, then the betting's over. But if they raise you, which means increasing the bet value, then it's on you to respond with either a call or a raise of your own. Oh, an ace. So right now an ace of spades. So there's 2 aces. So an ace pair on the board right now. I check. You check as well? Okay. And the last card is a 4 of hearts. I check. You bet? Okay, so you bet. So basically there's imaginarily 3 things in the pot right now because you bet 1. So I'm gonna call. I'll call your bet. And I have a 9-3 offsuit. What did you have? You're bluffing on air, baby. So yeah, you didn't have anything. I don't think it was. I mean, you could have probably bluffed me out. Maybe you. Yeah. If only you had a high card. I have high card, so looks like you're losing some clothes. Okay. Yes, the socks count. Oh, okay. Sexy, sexy. There's play another hand. I am all for it, babe. All for it. Okay, here you are. Whoops. There we go. Okay, you start. You bet 1. Okay, I call. So we have a king, a 10, and an ace. You bet again. I call. Okay. So that's a 9 of spades. You bet again? Baby, you have no... Then you're technically all in. You have nothing else to bet. Okay, fair enough. I call then. I'm all in too, so... there's no betting because we don't have any money at this or currency to bet on, so... it's a 4 of clubs. So I have a queen and a 7. So nothing except... Yeah, I don't really have anything. Yeah. What do you have? Wait, queen jack? Fuck. Alright, well that's a straight. Very good, baby. Looks like you won. Congratulations. Wait, you know how to play poker before, didn't you? Well, I'm glad you know the oldest trick in poker, which is the hustle. Yeah, you get what you want.